Blue skies above, the Dodgers and the Yankees ready to go in the middle game of this three-game highly anticipated series. Lineup for the Dodgers for game two looks like this, with the three MVPs at the top. Teoscar Hernandez stole the show last night with a game-winning hit, and the Dodgers continue to search for something out of the bottom of that lineup. Three-hitter for the Dodgers tonight, Freddie Freeman, is with Ken Rosenthal.
Freddie, the excitement, the electricity surrounding this series, how would you compare it to a typical regular season game?
It's a little bit different. It's exciting. This is what we played for, packed houses, and hopefully it's a good game.
Freddie, thank you. Back to you, Joe.
All right, Kenny, his Dodgers won last night's game 2-1 in 11 innings, and it really set the tone. You circled this series, and you get excited for it, and then last night, boy, it was awesome. 0-0 until the 11th inning, where the Dodgers won it 2-1. Nestor Cortes, John, going to take it for the Yankees tonight.
He's a great glove side commander of the baseball. He loves to pitch inside. He'll pitch up. He uses his whole arsenal. And look at his ERA in this stadium. Does not make sense compared to his road ERA. And he's got a tough task with the front end of the Dodgers lineup.
It begins with Mookie Betts, and off we go with a fastball that just misses to Betts, who has been slumping lately, but overall he's top 5 in the league in on base, top 5 in slugging. For the first place Dodgers. 2-0. The Dodgers actually below 500 over the last few weeks, but 40-25 overall. Got an 8-game lead over the Padres in the West. On a 2-0 pitch, Betts looks at strike one.
Well, Betts is trying to put that in his file cabinet. That ball was below the zone, so look for that and Cortes to expose that area if they keep getting that call.
Breaking pitch lifted to center field. It backs up Trent Grisham. He's got plenty of room for the first out of the night. So from one former MVP to another, and Shohei Ohtani tips his cap over there to Aaron Boone. It doesn't matter how many times his peers watch him, how many times the opposing managers watch him, they continue to be in awe of what this guy does.
Yeah, he's having his best year at the plate. Go figure. He's not going to be able to use his arm till next year. And he has not had much success. It's early, 1 for 9 against Cortes. And Cortes basically in those matchups pitched him away with fastballs. And then that little slider he'll sweep and try to get Ohtani to reach for it.
On this 1-0, he gets a swing and a miss on a cutter. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of pitchers are trying to expose something against Ohtani. And of late, he's cooled off. But getting the ball up, you saw him in Pittsburgh get blown away by fastballs. Second time up, the 100-mile-an-hour fastball he hit to center field for a home run. And these are the zones that you got to try to go to, right? Good luck. I mean, when he's on and his timing is about as good as anybody's with the power that he has when he connects with the ball.
On this 1-2 from Cortes, Ohtani slashes it foul. He was hitting up around 360 just a few weeks ago, but his last 19 games just 195. It really is the Dodgers collectively have not been as good the last few weeks. You don't have to look far to find the reasons why, with Betts and Ohtani not as good. Another 1-2 is outside, and the count evens up.
And that's where he's trying to go against Ohtani. He's trying to paint that outside line and then stretch it with a cutter or slider off of that fastball. Put heat on his eyesight to think that might be called for a strike. And there's that pitch. All they had to do right there is catch a little more of the plate, and Ohtani was able to check his swing.
Here's a payoff, and he got him. One more time, went to that outside part of the plate to get Ohtani. 2 out.
Well, you see Ohtani's front side. Watch his backside come out of the pitch, right? He's already exposed, and there's no way he could reach it. Another great job. He just doesn't pick up the ball against Cortes so far.
I love what you were saying earlier. Nestor Cortes, you know, it's going to be 92 to 94, but pitches like he thinks it's 97.
I'm just telling you, look, there's different ways to get outs, and we love the tenacity and velocity of a lot of studs in the game. But this guy feels like he's just right up there with the rest of them because he pitches. There's no one style. He's all over the place.
Freeman sends his ball to left center field, but he got it off the end of the bat. Nestor Cortes has a 1-2-3 first inning, retiring those MVPs quickly. And they're doing it against Gavin Stone as we take a look at the player profile sponsored by Michelin. This is one of the most improved pitchers in baseball. And since the final week of April, that 1.64 ERA is #1 in the National League.
Yeah, he's done a great job integrating different pitches. Last year, fastball, changeup, a high usage of changeup. He went down on that, incorporated the cutter and the slider. And he has a total different pitcher now with the makeup of that sinker. He now gives hitters some things to worry about in the way that the pitches come to the plate. You see even distribution pretty much. And he is on a roll. And he's going to need it against a really good lineup in New York here at home.
25-year-old from Lake City, Arkansas, fires to Anthony Volpe, who slashes the first pitch foul. And a lot of talk, for good reason, John, about what Juan Soto and Aaron Judge have done. But how about the leap that this kid has made up into the leadoff spot in his second year?
Done an incredible job from last year to this year.
Done a lot of that, hadn't he? Opposite field base hit. And so he sets the tone for this Yankees lineup, as he's done so frequently this season. No Soto again tonight. He is available off of the bench with that forearm tightness, forearm soreness. Alex Verdugo hits second with him out. Judge is third. Stanton's quietly having a good season as well. Then Rizzo and Torres. LeMahieu back last week from the foot injury. Austin Wells catches, and Trent Grisham bats ninth in center. Soto, the biggest acquisition. Verdugo, pretty darn good as well.
He really has. And I'll tell you, if you want to know why the Yankees are so much improved offensively, they cut out their strikeouts. Volpe's cut his down. This guy doesn't strike out. Soto doesn't strike out. All of a sudden now the Yankee lineup is much more difficult to navigate through. Even though they got some sluggers in there, their strikeouts have gone down.
Ground ball left side and base hit for Verdugo. Back-to-back opposite field singles for the Yankees to start the night. Set the table for Judge.
And the reason I thought this would be such a tough matchup for a pitcher on the roll, we showed how good he's been coming in to this game, is this lineup, even though it doesn't have Soto, is not going to expand the zone too much. And there's that sinker that he goes the other way. And the Yankees are in a great spot on the year because their lineup is longer than it's ever been. And you got to face this guy now with runners on. He has to challenge him a little bit, whereas when you don't have any runners on, you can pitch around Judge when Soto's not in the lineup.
4 pitches, 2 hits already. Stone to Judge. Now, the one thing he's got, John, his best pitch is a changeup, and that's the best way to attack Judge.
Yeah, Judge does expand the zone a lot on changeups, over 50%. But I'll tell you what, he also has some home runs because he sees so many changeups. He's able to get to some of them for damage.
Whew. Slider is middle, and he's probably thankful Judge didn't pull the trigger. Judge last night, 2 hits, 2 walks, drove in the Yankees' lone run. He was hitting $180 a month in, but he's got a 33-game on-base streak going coming in here.
And there's that changeup right there. Well, that one read as a sinker, so it had tremendous movement on that sinker. That's the pitch we're talking about that has improved the lane for his changeup. And the reason I say that is see how low that sinker is. Now he can throw a changeup off of it, whereas before it was a high fastball, 4-seam fastball. The variance was too big between the 2 pitches.
Judge reaches out, fouls off a 4-seam. And that sinker is something that he added midway through last year. We're talking about him being so improved. He gave up 31 runs in 31 innings as a rookie. That came with the demotion. And during his time in the minors, he added 2 new pitches, added a cutter, added the sinker, and Mark Pryor and the pitching coaches think that he's unlocked really who he is. Gets away with this one here. Got away with a couple to Judge in that at bat. Andy Pages for the first out. Volpe to third.
Yeah, he did get away with one there, and Judge will be looking at film, just seeing how close that was to being a 3-0 game. This pitch is right down the middle, almost maybe surprised him a little bit. You could see his reaction to that.
He knew it right away. Yankees at the corners, 1 away, and Giancarlo Stanton at the plate. Now, so much of his story is can he stay on the field. This season he has, and he's been productive, 15 home runs.
Yeah, when he's doing that in this lineup, it just makes him doubly tough because he can get on a power stroke of his own.
Pop up right side of the infield. Freddie Freeman backs up and retires Stanton. 2 gone. Now the Yankees trying to crack through in the first inning here, one day after these teams went into the 11th inning scoreless. First game in baseball all season where there was no score going into the 11th inning. 2 very good offenses, but a well-pitched series so far. Anthony Rizzo, runners at the corners and 2 out. There's that changeup, strike 1.
It's kind of a split finger changeup. You see the movement and the velocity, 88. So it's on the firmer side.
And turns it up with a fastball. And his fastballs, like Yamamoto's last night, playing up. A lot of guys are talking after yesterday's game. You know, you go into the game, hey, it's just 101-62. But then afterwards, they came out saying, no, that was a little different.
Yeah, this atmosphere in a regular season game, you know, you're going to say all the right things and say, yeah, it's another regular season game. But there's probably 3 to 5 series in a year where it gets your attention or gets the other team attention, and the adrenaline's a little higher.
Stone trying to pitch around the traffic. And a changeup popped into foul ground at third. There's Kike Hernandez, and Stone will get out of the jam. Back-to-back singles to start the inning, but no damage done. The latest edition of the Dodgers and the Yankees. 11 World Series matchups, the most of any World Series matchup. It's on Baseball Night in America. By Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. So many legendary faces over the history of this rivalry. The manager chairs, of course. Thanks to Joe Torre, by the way, for voicing RTs, bringing us on the air tonight. Joe's got a great voice, by the way. You could do voiceover work for a living. Will Smith leads off this second and takes a ball from Nestor Cortez. And you got the 3 MVPs at the top of the order, but then down here hitting cleanup, you have a guy you could argue is the best catcher in baseball at this point.
You're darn right, and he owns left-handers this year.
Pops this one down the right field line. Judge, long run, gets there.
That ball had funny spin, almost looked like it was coming back to Judge as he was going in that short foul territory. There's really not much room between that wall, which was more scared of Judge than he was of the wall.
Yeah, I think the wall even inched away a little bit, tiptoeing back. All this star power this weekend. You got former MVPs on both sides. Go figure, it was this man here, Teoscar Hernandez, winning the game in the 11th. He blasts a ball here that'll start the scoring in game 2. Teoscar Hernandez thriving on the biggest stage, crushing his 14th home run.
Well, he had the 2nd most home runs against left-handers coming in. Add another one. I believe that's 7 on the year. A lot of swing and miss in his game, but when he gets it, he gets it. I mean, this is going up there saying, I'm going after the first pitch. Caught too much of the plate. He knew it. And unfortunately, Cortez knew it.
There was his 2-run double that won the game in the 11th inning last night, and it's his solo home run that starts the scoring here in game 2. Teoscar Hernandez, a 1-year contract with the Dodgers. You didn't hear a ton about it because of the other much bigger deals that they signed. Quietly, though, he's been one of the best hitters against left-handed pitching in baseball the last 5 years.
Yeah, and I mentioned that big swing. Again, Dodgers have a complementary lineup, too, that
and out Sandy Pages with the base hit the other way.
Can string some hits together. If they do that from this point of the lineup down, they're going to be virtually unbeatable. But that has been their problem so far this year, the bottom part of their lineup.
Another look at the home run.
You can see the bat path. See how flat that is to the ball. Perfect launch angle.
Starts a party in the bullpen. Teoscar Hernandez leading the club in runs batted in, top 10 in the league in home runs. And now it's Miguel Rojas looking at ball one. You're saying it, John. Those top four guys in the lineup so good. Hernandez has been good fifth, but the bottom of the order, they're down in the bottom of baseball in just about every category.
Yeah, it's impossible for 9 guys to live up to the rate of the first 4, but they just have to be a little bit better than they are. The bottom 4 has really been a void for the Dodgers so far. Here's a guy at the plate that knows how to put it in play, doesn't swing and miss much.
Is back to the role the Dodgers kind of envisioned for him when they got him from Miami prior to last season. But when Gavin Lux got hurt, Rojas had to be the everyday shortstop, and he's back to playing about half the time and producing much better. On this 2-1 from Cortez, Rojas looks at ball 3.
I was looking into some of this stuff as we dig into it, and I saw that, God, I gotta check this again. There's no way. Yep. He has not missed in the last 52 fastballs against a left-handed pitcher. He hasn't swung and missed. So that's being connected to the pitch and to the zone.
Hooks this ball down the left field line. Foul. He's known as one of the best fielders in the National League. Last season, it was his worst offensive season since he was a rookie back in 2013, but he's turned that around with this different role this year, not used quite as much, and it's his best full season that he's had. Average up around 290. On a payoff from Cortez, he pokes one to first. Rizzo steps in the bag, goes to second for a tag play, double play. It'll finish off the top of the second. Teoscar Hernandez ended last night's game. He starts tonight's. It's 1-0 Dodgers, middle 2 in the Bronx. Dodgers have the early lead as Gleyber Torres swings at the first pitch at the bottom of the second and drops it into right field for a leadoff hit.
Well, from a team that really averages almost 4 pitches per at bat and they really draw it out, they've decided against a strike thrower that they're going to be aggressive, and it has paid off early with the first couple hitters to lead off the game getting the hits, and then now here in the second. So what do you do against a guy who throws a lot of strikes? Well, you pick one out and you get a hit.
And so Torres on the leadoff this second. Yankees had the first 2 on in the first inning, couldn't score. DJ LeMahieu inside ball 1. But LeMahieu missed the first couple of months with a foot injury since coming back just 4 of 26. The machine, they called him. 2 batting titles, 1 in Colorado, 1 in New York. Just has not been the same the last few years. So many bad luck injuries. Runner takes off on a hit and run. Back-to-back base hits to open the second, putting him at first and third.
Well, he has such great bat control. You don't win a batting title in both leagues if you can't handle the bat. And we don't get a chance to see too many hit and runs, but there was one perfectly executed. And again, now the stress factor on Stone. First 2 hitters of both innings to reach. He escaped the first, though.
Yeah, the Yankees now 1 of 11 in these 2 games with runners in scoring position. Had their chances in yesterday's game as well. Get another one very quickly here in the second, and it's for the catcher Austin Wells. Stone comes home, and a changeup taken low. Now Stone's still a young guy, right? Just a handful of starts in the big leagues last year. This environment, this lineup, I figure you got to fight that feeling of like trying to do something different, trying to do more than you've done.
Well, no doubt. He watched his starter buddy yesterday tune it up to velocities that were max effort, more than we've seen, and he dominated it. And this stadium will do it to you, man. The crowd base here and just the environment and the history, even though it's a newer stadium. You know what it more is, though? The short portion right and the short portion left gets your attention.
It does feel really close. 2-1 on Wells, and we go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, guys, when I asked Gavin Stone what he took out of last season when he struggled so much, he said, I learned how to stay composed. And that's something that Dave Roberts mentioned to us before the game. He used one word to describe Stone: unflappable.
Yeah, he's needed that so far already. Home with a 2-1. That's the changeup. 2-2.
Well, you watch this coming out of his hand. Looks like a fastball, and see just a little tilt away from the left-handed hitter. That's what that split change will do. Neutralizes the left-handers.
Doubles up on it. Tapped in play to second. They go to second for one. Betts to first. A double play, but the tying run scores as Gleyber Torres comes in from third, and it's 1-1.
Tell you what, that was really close at first. I wonder if they're going to challenge that. Aaron Boone's looking at it real quick.
And they are.
It looks safe live.
That ain't good for a guy to use his pen to score. I might be okay. Might be good.
The foot didn't quite get. The heel might have got down before the toe. Yeah, it might be close enough to overturn.
Whew.
So it's got to be in the pocket of the glove, and that angle certainly might overturn it.
New York is challenging the out call at second and the out call at first.
Wow.
Oh. The old double up.
We didn't pay attention to the one at second.
All right, so here's the out at second. Does Betts? Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Now,
the question is,
Uh-huh.
this constitutes just one challenge, right? Even though there's two, so they could go 1 for 2 and be okay and keep their challenge.
They could.
It's one of the rare occasions that.
Yeah. He's going to cast a wide net here. See if they can get one.
Well, for Aaron Boone, again, we got a chance to see him opening weekend against the Houston Astros, and he was so excited about his offensive approach and how everybody bought in the offseason leading up to the season in making that starting pitcher or whoever's on the mound stress with each at bat, having a game plan. And I'll say so far they've executed it pretty well.
27th in on-base percentage last year, second this year.
Yeah, and there's a balance between listening to all the information and the coaches and the approach, and I think they blended it better this year. Honestly, sometimes you can get paralyzed by it, and some players on the roster may have given too much credence to it, and now they're kind of having a balance of both, and it's showing up.
I think Aaron Boone's saying, all right, make up your mind one way or the other on this replay review.
Well, he gave them 2 things to make up their mind on.
He did. To be fair.
I think we're only really looking at this one right here, and it's going to be really close because of the white heel and the white base. They teach you, I mean, when your steps are right, to get the front of the bag with your foot, you know, but he obviously had the heel of his foot hit the bag, which means the toes up in the air. The fastest way to first base would be to touch the front of that bag. And it's definitely not sliding head first like a lot of people might think. It's more of a perception.
That looks cooler, though. All right,
the call at second base is confirmed out. The call at first base is overturned. Runner safe.
Ooh.
New York retains their challenge.
All right. So Austin Wells with that hustle earns himself an RBI. It's 1-1. And it's 1 out.
And that's the big difference, right?
Yeah.
RBI versus no RBI, but a game tied.
Hey, suit up for the summer at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of official jerseys, caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your favorite team at MLBshop.com. 1 gone, second inning. Here's the 9-hitter Trent Grisham.
Now, if he swings at the first pitch, you know its lineup is all going after, because he is very selective in his approach, and the average right now in 23 games not where he would want it.
Now, Grisham is the other guy they got from the Padres with Juan Soto. He's not played a ton. Well, he's gotten a hit in back-to-back games with a little more action lately. Prior to that, 2 for 39 on the year. And there is Soto as we talk about how this lineup has been overhauled, the jumping on base percentage. It would be hard to come up with a better player to unlock what looked like a roster that was completely in a bad place at the end of last season, their worst season in 3 decades, and it looked like they were stuck. But then they go get a guy that addresses so many different things, and it's not hyperbole to say he's transformed them.
No doubt. And there's some greatness in what they've done, but then there's some tremendous pressure at the end of the year to continue it because it's via a trade and he's a free agent. But you're right, he has transformed this lineup. And the reason he has and single-handedly can is because of his approach. If there's any one guy that's going to get that long-term contract that you know will stay the same player throughout, I think it's this guy. He showed it at an early age, his ability to get on base, hit for power, hit for average, and he has the flair for dramatic, to say the least.
Another 2-2 comes home and he takes it downstairs. Count goes full. Three-2 from Gavin Stone. Wells takes off and it's hit foul. You know, Soto, so many things they needed from a lineup perspective, from a player perspective, but then like you talked about, the person for the stage too. He's always enjoyed playing in New York. Confidence, presence. Aaron Boone has compared him to Barry Bonds in that regard.
It's not a far stretch on that by any means. Because people don't understand the stress factor of a pitcher, not only this ballpark, but when you've got to worry about the guy before Soto, and then the guy after Soto, and then the fatigue factor of, oh, I just got through those guys. Maybe there's a letdown, and the guys behind him benefit just as much as the guys in front.
There goes Wells again as Grisham sends the ball in the air to center field for Pages. Started back, comes on, and makes the grab for out number 2. Throw back to first, not in time. Dual action sponsored by Roundup. How about this duo with Soto joining Judge? And it's only been a couple months, but numbers that make it fun to take a look at. Some historic combos. 61 in the dual chase for the home run record with Mantle and Maris. And then you go back to peak Ruth and Gehrig in 1927. Again, this is 2 months of Soto and Judge doing what they're doing, but to this point stacks up with what the greatest duos in Yankees history and so baseball history have done through the first 2 months of their best seasons.
It puts the Yankees in a legitimate look. They've always put together teams that were going to compete for the playoffs but got exposed in the playoffs, unfortunately, by one particular team, and usually the Astros. But now I don't think they get exposed. The balance they have is going to play throughout the year and into the postseason. If they get beat, they get beat, but it won't be because of the way they've been beaten before. Too many strikeouts, not enough offense at the wrong time, and a way above average pitching staff that I don't know a lot of people thought were going to be the case when the year started.
And with Gerrit Cole coming back, Volpe fouls it off. 1-2. We're going to get a chance to talk to Gerrit Cole, by the way, tonight before he heads off for his second rehab start tomorrow in Somerset. Could they survive a half a season without him? The answer has been an emphatic yes. Second in the majors with a .282 rotation ERA. 1-2 from Stone. Volpe swats it foul. Who knew Luis Gil was not only going to fill in the rotation for Cole, but lead the American League with a 182.
You got to have stuff like that to be a championship team. You've got to have the unexpected. Your greats have to be great, and obviously you got to stay healthy. And they've got really checked all those boxes so far.
Volpe down swinging as Stone gets a fastball by him for his first strikeout of the game. After their scoreless into the 11th last night, they both get a tally in the second tonight. 1-1 game, top of the third, and Garrett Cole, as promised, going to join us. Garrett, I guess one of the benefits of having a minor league affiliate so close by, you can be at tonight's game and still get a rehab start in tomorrow, huh?
And be at tomorrow night's game.
Wow. Kike Hernandez starts this inning, takes ball one from Nestor Cortez. So we're about, what, 5 days past your first one. How are you feeling going into number 2 tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm excited. The AA guys have a great energy.
Yeah, this is the first time I've heard a pitcher come out of a rehab start talking about how the environment helped fire him up.
Well, it had been a while since I've had anything. So, and I guess, you go through these processes sometimes and, you just inherently become more grateful for the opportunity. So, you go to an affiliate like that and it's special nonetheless.
Here's a 2-1 pitch with it inside, ball 3.
Yeah, what's the biggest thing you haven't had, and hopefully will not have many more situations like this, but what have you learned just being away this first fourth of a season?
Man, it's a lot. It's a little bit of a different perspective, kind of not being in the day-to-day grind, the ins and outs of the club, and then coming to the game and kind of watching the game with a fresh set of eyes. It's just been fun to pick up kind of new things or read body language a little bit from a fresh perspective. And I got to spend a lot of time with my kids, which is priceless as well. So
payoff comes home to Hernandez, and he's got a leadoff walk here in the third. How about this environment this weekend? I've heard a few guys talk about, coming into the series, look, it's just another series, but it seemed like guys couldn't deny that it was different last night.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, it's not this. It's not any other series. I mean, the Dodgers don't come here very often, and we were full house before first pitch, which the Yankee fans pack this place for us all the time. It's amazing, but it's another level of energy tonight for sure.
Chris Taylor swings through the first one.
I know you got time on your side, but what's your benchmark? What's it going to take for you? What are you looking for? What boxes are you trying to check before you can say I'm ready?
Yeah, so the command was pretty good the other day. Exceeded my expectations a little bit. So I think we're just trying to build up and thank you, Juan. I think we're just trying to build up and make sure that we're in a spot where if we get into trouble in some innings, we have some flexibility to get in and out of jams, because the pitching's been humming so well.
Taylor into left field. He's got a base hit. First 2 Dodgers have reached here in the third.
So we don't need someone else to come in on on a really short pitch count and put extra stress. So
you got a Gatorade guy down there?
I do. It's a very expensive Gatorade guy. I tell you what.
How expensive is the question around New York?
I don't know. Well, I'm not going to sell him short, in the words of Bryce Harper. I can tell you that. So
it looks like he's pretty good at delivering the goods.
He delivers the goods. Let me tell you, as advertised.
First 2 have reached against Nestor Cortez here in the third, in a tie game. Mookie Betts to the plate. There is ball 1. But it's fun to watch Nestor Cortez pitch, isn't it?
Yeah, he's just a great story, and he's always a great competitor for us. So he throws a lot of different cool, unique looks, and he's really good.
How about facing the top of this lineup, though? Probably not unlike facing the top of yours.
Yeah, it's not a lot of places to be, not a lot of comfortable places to hang out. They got the strike zone on lockdown, the top 3, 4. But as a competitor, you just put your big boy pants on and go at it.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy next to you is probably really just hating missing these couple games here. I know you are too, but geez, Juan's not missed a game in 2 years, and then stage that he's made for. Look, he's like a little kid right now, just trying to keep himself occupied.
That's exactly right.
2-1 on Betts. Here it comes. That's downstairs, ball 3. Now, one silver lining to these first couple months, the Yankees having to figure out how to deal without you, Garrett, has been Luis Gil getting his chance, and my oh my, has he been awesome.
Boy, is he's been so good for us. But I mean, it's been a team effort, to be honest. The offense has been. Sit down.
High drive the other way by Betts. Judge tracks it down in front of the wall. It did sit down right into Aaron's glove, and they're at the corners with one away.
Yeah, I mean, he's just had such a great environment. I mean, the guys in front of him and behind him everybody's pitching so well, and when everybody's tugging on the rope the same way, it just it takes a little bit of pressure off you. It doesn't make you have to be so perfect, and so we've done a nice job of tossing the ball back and forth, in terms of doing the heavy lifting between all of us, really.
Ohtani here, first and third, one away.
With Cortes dominating at home, and this ballpark is not a pitcher friendly, what's the biggest thing you learned pitching here now, been a while, on what to avoid, or what do you learn pitching in this ballpark, who down the lines is very hitter friendly?
Yeah, I mean, the big part of the park is definitely center field. I think you just got to know your opponent and know his ability, and kind of craft how risky you're going to get, in certain situations, knowing that there's a little bit of an out to right center field and right field. So there's not like one way to do it. It may be different for different guys, but you definitely have to be aware for sure.
Well, Garrett, we appreciate you. We'll all tune in here for Ohtani, and safe trip down to Somerset, and have a great game 2 coming back tomorrow.
Great. Thank you guys so much.
All right, Garrett. 2 balls and a strike on Ohtani. Here comes Cortes. That's bounced foul, and it's 2-2 as Cortes continues to stay down and away, as he has, as you touched on, John, so often through that 1 for 10 in their previous matchups.
Yeah, a good high ball hitter, good middle to in hitter, and he just can't afford to make a mistake out over the plate. He's going to want to get him to reach again and maybe get that ground ball. Tough to double up, too. Only 1 grounded into double play for Ohtani, I believe.
On a 2-2, it is a fastball hit foul.
And in these situations, in this ballpark, with the offense that you have to trust that giving up 1 is not the end of the deal, right? You just try to stay away from the crooked number inning, and of course a fly ball here would be just as good if you're lucky enough to strike him out, and that's icing on the cake.
Cortes tries again, and Ohtani pokes a base hit the other way to put the Dodgers back in front. Shohei Ohtani drives in Kike Hernandez, and it's 2-1 LA.
Well, what makes Ohtani and Freddie Freeman so dangerous is they can do that. They're not a one side of the field hitter, and when you don't have a pull type hitter that grounds into a lot of 4-6-3s because he's trying to pull, you have that result. And again, even though you gave up a run, you'll take it with that kind of power at the plate.
So the Dodgers back in front. Freddie Freeman to the plate. That replay we showed was such a great shot of Ohtani there, a guy who uses so much torque in his normal swing, but with 2 strikes there and the go-ahead run at third, he was just flipping his wrists at that ball.
Well, it was a defensive swing, but it was a good one because the stylistic approach that Cortes has. Look, these hitters are doing the same thing I'm doing, watching video, and at some point you've got to win the battle, and he won the battle to maybe make him change his approach if he faces him a 3rd time or down the rest of his career.
Ohtani's already got as many opposite field hits this year as he had all of last year. We talk about his average being at a career high mark. That's been a big part of it. They say having that a different club in his bag, to use one of your favorite pastimes. Freeman rolls one over the mound, ramps to the shortstop Volpe, who's waiting for it in the bag, and over to first. A double play to retire the side, but Ohtani's RBI has the Dodgers back in front.
Yeah, just ask Siri. What's the longest home run in MLB history?
Back here at Yankee Stadium, Dodgers with a 2-1 lead over the Yankees, and Alex Verdugo takes strike 1 from Stone. Verdugo singled his first time. The Yankees have 4 hits already against Stone, but just 1 run to show for it. Changeup disappears.
Yeah, great pitch, good change of speeds. He's trying to get a different formula here in the 3rd inning. Both first 2 hitters have both innings reached to put some big time stress on Stone. He survived it so far, but the accumulation of those, if he keeps having a lot of those innings, trust me, that wears on you, and the stress pitches go way up. And that's why I say pitches in general, when you just do pitch count, it's just irrelevant, because if you don't have a lot of stress, then the pitch count doesn't mean the same as the pitch counts that he has right now already in the first 2 innings.
Just tapped into the glove. Strike 3. 97 by Verdugo for Stone's second K. Well, the Summer of Stars has arrived with one of the biggest international tournaments in the world, the Euros. It kicks off this Friday. Germany hosts Scotland live on Fox. Don't miss it, with coverage starting at 3 o'clock Eastern. Aaron Judge with one away, swings and misses at a first pitch slider. I think last night was a great example of what you're talking about, John. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who didn't exceed 100 pitches in the big leagues until 2 starts ago, there were no signs of him slowing, and he sailed past 100.
Yeah, he did, and I know a lot of people get nervous when they're watching the game by osmosis. They believe a pitcher's going to break when he throws 100 pitches, but you got to look at the situation, you know, and you got to look at, was there any stress? Virtually none. You know, the only stress was he probably threw more pitches at 97 miles an hour than he ever had before, but that's adrenaline. That's a good thing.
0-2 to Judge, is down and away, 1-2. Well, the 2 new guys for the Dodgers, and Yamamoto and Glasnow, have given him a couple headliners in that rotation. Stone trying to join those guys. Judge launches this ball over Taylor's head, and off the top of the wall, it's a home run. Home run for Aaron Judge. 22nd to lead the big leagues and tie this game at 2.
Well, he pitched him so perfect until that pitch, and that's all it takes for Aaron Judge, as big and as strong as he is, to get one up in the zone. The first 3 pitches were all in tight outside corner and down. He'll hit him a lot farther than that, but he'll take any one he gets. Watch where this was, is right down the central, and that one had a little top spin. They're going to check it to see if it did exactly what we, or the umpires, thought. Yeah, that's going to be a homer.
So Juan knows how to move those hips and use all kinds of body English to add to the entertainment value, help boost that ball out of here. And Aaron Judge has his 16th home run in his last 31 games.
Maybe the worst part for the Dodgers is it was a Dodger fan.
That's right. Yeah, no question about that, huh?
Trying to help out his team, maybe, by getting some interference. I'm sure he wasn't thinking about that when the ball was coming at him.
Yeah, no. He had one thought. Oh my gosh, this ball is coming fast. Dodgers have a fan group, by the way, here called Pantone 294 that had 5,000 people march towards Yankee Stadium with the NYPD escort today.
Wow.
2,000 of them gotten in, sitting together. That's nearly impossible to do here at Yankee Stadium. 2,000 sitting together, and then that guy down there. 2001.
I mean, if you bring in a glove,
yeah,
that's the danger of bringing a glove.
Right. Nobody expects you to catch it if you're out there with a beer in your hand and a baby in the other.
But if you're bringing a glove, you've got to make the play.
Is confirmed. Home run.
I think it broke. Did it break his chain?
Hope not.
Yeah, it broke his chain.
Oh no! Double whammy. He's getting blown up now. Ball on Stanton. New game, tied at 2 as Judge launches it out of here. And now it's Stanton. Popped out his first time, looking for his first hit of this series. Southern California guy, LA guy, grew up going to games at Dodger Stadium. out of Sherman Oaks, Notre Dame High School. Fights this one back foul.
Stanton has such a unique batting approach and really almost mechanically doesn't make sense, but he's so strong. Upper body just ridiculous. But his back feet will move a little bit. They'll spin out. It'll look like he's got something slick. When he's going bad, it looks like it's even more pronounced. When he's going good, it plants. And he just launches. He's always going to be on the leaderboard of hardest hit balls, farthest hit. But a lot of swing and miss still in his game.
On this 2-2 pitch, that's what happens. Swings over a changeup for strike 3. Third one for Stone. 2 gone in this third inning.
And this is what I'm talking about. You know, he's fishing, and watch that back foot. Okay, it's the changeup, and see where it slips out and moves. Well, that typically is not what you want, but you can also hit them off the shoe tops a long way.
Anthony Rizzo is attacking the first pitch, and it's foul. Yes, Stanton is one of 5 guys that has hit a ball out of Dodger Stadium. And it is a who's who of sluggers. Stargell, McGuire, Piazza, Fernando Tatis Jr. did it recently, and then Stanton.
Well, like I said, it's hard to get 9 guys hot at the same time, but if the Yankees can get a little more average version of what we've come to expect from Rizzo, and you wonder how much lingering effects he's had from last year's concussion that really threw him off base.
Bounces this one to second, and Rojas, yeah, because he was their most consistent hitter over the first couple months last year before that concussion, right around this time last year. It's the 22nd of the season for Aaron Judge, and it's tied the game. The Dodgers and the Yankees through it 3 innings in the Bronx. Geico, whatever you need, get more with Geico. 11 World Series matchups between these franchises. The most common Fall Classic matchup. The Dodgers cracked through after losing the first 5 head-to-head to the Yankees in 1955. Won it again in '63 over the Yanks, and then in '81. So they had 11 matchups in a 41-year span. It's been 43 years without the Dodgers and the Yankees facing off in October. Will Smith leads off this 4th inning in a 2-2 game, takes a strike. Dodgers got a run in the 2nd and a run in the 3rd against Nestor Cortez. Kicks and deals. 1-2 on Smith.
Doesn't always work this way, but when 2 pitching staffs dominate hitters like they did last night, you feel like the hitters were going to have their hitting shoes on tonight, and they've come out already and exceeded the hit total and run totals. Have the Yankees, and we're only in the 3rd, and the Dodgers have done the same as far as hits and runs, but that's what happens when you face nastiness. It can only look easier the next day.
Yeah. And Cody Poteet did a nice job for the Yankees, and then the bullpen came in. Strike 3 caught on Will Smith. Got to play the politics, being the catcher. Can't argue too hard. Down to the Dodger dugout, Ken Rosenthal as Dave Roberts.
Dave, Aaron Judge, the home run last inning. He is so hot right now. How do you deal with him?
Yeah, you know what, I think that, you know, the way he's swinging the bat right now, he doesn't chase. You know, when he touches it, it seems like it's 115 off the bat. We made a mistake with something middle, and obviously hit out of the ballpark. And, you know, it's tough. It's one of those situations where our guys throwing the baseball well, limiting damage, and you try not to let a guy like that beat you.
Shohei Ohtani, big hit the last inning, but Teoscar Hernandez with the home run. What has he meant to your team?
Consistency. You know, each day he comes in, there's a professionalism, and also he you know, he took less money to be a Dodger, and so you already have that buy-in right there. And as he said yesterday, he just loves this big stage. He loves being in a playoff environment, and had a big homer for us last night, or a big hit for us, and had a big homer tonight. So, you know, he's going to give us good at bats, and right there, Nestor made a good pitch with a changeup.
All right, how much fun are you having with this playoff environment?
Oh my God, Kenny! You know, I'm a baseball fan first, and I actually talked to Booney earlier today on a phone call, and there were numerous times during the game last night we were like, man, what a good ball game. He was talking to his coach, I was talking to mine, and you can't beat this, you know. And I've said before, if you don't love this, then you better find another job. So this is great for baseball.
Dave, thank you very much.
All right, Kenny.
Joe, back to you.
All right, guys. Andy Pages fouls off the first one from Cortez. Dave Robertson, his 9th year. Time flies, huh?
Sure does. And he has handled all the pressure and all the expectations about as well as anybody. And of course, they're looking to get multiple championships now with the signing of Ohtani and all the other moves they've made. They're in a good position to represent the National League. But the Phillies,
yeah,
don't ask them. They feel like they're in the same position, and they are rolling. Another win in London.
I was going to say, doesn't matter what country they're playing in. 0-2 to Pages outside. Doesn't matter whether it's a mug or a pint. They win games. Play another one tomorrow against the Mets. Best record in baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies. Cortez trying to strike out the side, and it's hit foul off the hands. Then you got the Braves, who have lost their top pitcher in Spencer Strider. They've lost their top player in Ronald Acuna. Figured they're going to be around, but they certainly are not the same version of the Braves you thought you'd have.
That is going to be a tough row, a tough sledding, really, for replacing. I mean, you just can't replace them.
Tapper to second. Easy one for Torres. 1-2-3 inning. Dodgers and Yankees. West Coast against East Coast. Middle game in this 3-game series. Yankees trying to tie the series up on Baseball Night in America. Bronx, another game going on as Gleyber Torres puts the first pitch in play here in the 4th. He did that same thing in the 2nd. Got a better result with a base hit. Here he grounds out. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Gavin Stone. That's what he's gotten a lot of this year. An old school approach. Attacks the zone, a lot of weak contact, and a lot of quick innings that follow. Now DJ LeMahieu. Singled his first time up. Nine hits over the course of 11 innings in last night's game, and a 2-1 Dodger win. Already 9 hits between the teams in 3+ innings today.
Basically no wind, perfect conditions for everybody. A little bit of wind blowing, but comfortable.
Bouncing ball won't be an easy play. Hernandez bare hands and throws, and he makes the play look easy when it certainly wasn't. Playing third base for Max Muncy, and Kike Hernandez, no matter where you put him, a wizard defensively.
Well, the one thing that Dave Roberts wanted tonight more than anything is he needed some guys to play some defense. Maybe not having the best years at the plate so far, but defensively, left field and third base. 2 guys struggling offensively, but not struggling defensively.
Yeah, that's a heck of a play right there by Hernandez. 2 gone in the 4th, and Austin Wells, the catcher, swats it foul. Wells brought in a run his first time up, legged it out, just beat the throw to first. It was a double play initially, but then overturned and got him an RBI. And for a guy who comes into the game with only 6 of them this year, he's saying, heck yeah, challenge that and get me a ribby. 24 years old. He made his debut last season. First round pick out of Arizona. And mostly drafted for his bat, but defense has come along to the point where that right now is the best part of his game. Forming a nice tandem back there with Jose Trevino. On this 1-2 pitch. Checks his swing, and the count evens up.
So far on the night, changeup still being the best pitch to attack the lineup of the Yankees. They haven't gotten a hit against it, and that's a great pitch for Stone on the year.
That's the one that got him to the major leagues, but then he got here, John, and the league quickly told him he needed more than that.
Yeah, he threw a higher percentage. Basically fastball and changeup were his 2 pitches, but now he's added that 2-seamer and the cutter, and now they got to take care of a lot of different things. I mean, this game is all about adjustments, always has been, and I talk about it all the time. If you want to stay in this league, you've got to constantly be on guard for what the league is doing against you on either side, whether it's at the plate or on the mound. And, you know, some of them get a chance to do it quicker than others, and that's why they get to stay and have bigger and longer careers, and others just can't get over the hump. And you see that bouncing up and down, which has just got to be torture on a player. Once he's tasted the big leagues, you don't want to go back down multiple times.
Stone's 2-2 is outside. He was up and down 4 different times last year. It was 31 runs allowed in 31 innings. Added 2 new pitches during the year. Added 10 pounds during the offseason. Eating a bunch of Chipotle. Fastball's ticked up. Confidence has as well. And he's got a 1-2-3 4th inning. To New York, and boy, the weather has gotten the memo. There's a big series in town this weekend. Beautiful days for baseball. Dodgers and Yankees on a Saturday night. Miguel Rojas takes ball 1 from Nestor Cortes. Dodgers got a run in the second, a run in the third. Yankees doing the same. 2-0 on Rojas. Nestor Cortes gets a pop-up here in the right field for Judge. And the first out of the 5th. Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Oh, such a long history between these clubs. The 11 World Series matchups, always big expectations. Probably even bigger this year, and both teams living up to the hype so far. Dodgers with an 8-game lead in the division. Yankees 45-20. For 2 teams who, look, they have these storied histories. They've won a lot of games the last decade plus, but in the case of the Yankees, it's been 15 years since they went to the World Series. Dodgers 10 division titles in the last 11 years, but only the 2020 championship to show for it. Hernandez flies the ball the other way. Judge is going back, out of room and gone. Kike Hernandez breaks the tie with an opposite field shot.
And that tells you the story of Yankee Stadium. As a pitcher, that's what you have to avoid. You hope it's solo, and this one was a solo home run, but that looked like a fly ball. Kind of routine. He got good wood on it, but it carries to that short porch in right field. I've seen so many hitters with their head down, thinking it's an out, have to turn into a smile.
You asked Dave Roberts today, how do you think this park would affect your team if you played 81 games here? And he thought about it for a second. He said probably would hurt it. And then he went through hitter by hitter. And by the end of it, he's like, yeah, we definitely wouldn't want to have this spare home park.
Yeah, and the beauty of building your team, you build it around your home ballpark. You have to play on the road half the time, too. But you want to build it around your home ballpark. And usually the teams that win dominate at home. But already some contributions from the lower part of this lineup that has been really not doing much. They've done it all so far in the game.
Yeah, we talked about how 1 through 4 best in baseball, 5 through 9 not very good, but all 3 runs have come 5 through 9 in the lineup. Kike Hernandez now 3 consecutive games with an extra base hit. Two to Taylor.
That's what's been so spectacular about what Cortes has done coming into this game. We talked about what his home ERA was. That is pretty much impossible to keep up throughout the year, but he's been so good. He hasn't been as good on the road. Both teams could use a really good outing out of their starters to eat up some innings after last night's game, using a lot of relievers to get through that game.
Taylor down on strikes, 2 gone in the 5th, and another look at the home run.
Fastball away, and if you're trying to pull it, you're not going to have a lot of success. And it looks like right there from that view, that would be an out in most ballparks. Well, this isn't most ballparks, and it's a homer, and you get rewarded.
By the way, that guy brought his glove and put it to use. Good catch out there.
A little different trajectory,
right,
and velocity.
Betts are 2 away. That's Cortez having a bounce back year. He had last season pretty much ruined by that rotator cuff issue. He was worried at first he'd have to have surgery. It was bugging him deep into the offseason. So he was worried right around Christmas that he was going to be ready to go for this season. But here he is now, a couple months in, with a 3.46 ERA after he had a 5 ERA in his 12 starts last year. Fly the other way to Aaron Judge. We are halfway home in New York in a seesaw game. Dodgers back in front on the Hernandez home run. MLB Big Inning and available pre and post games. No blackouts. Go to MLB.com/@bat for details. The Yanks have 9-1-2 coming up against Gavin Stone, down 3-2 here in the 5th as Trent Grisham takes a ball.
Haven't talked about this subject in a while, but shutdown innings. You know, shutdown inning is when your team is giving you a run and you try to shut them down the very next. He's 0 for 2 is Stone. He's trying to go 1 for 3 because this is the 3rd time now he'll have a 1-run lead. So always important. A game is not so much like football where it's built out of momentum, but as a pitcher, you just want to shut down the momentum that your team has given you at the plate.
They talk about the toughness of Gavin Stone, the mental toughness that he showed coming back last year from getting hit in the mouth right away. Dave Roberts has said he's a little bit Orel Hershiser-esque in the way that he kind of gets that look in his eye, that bulldog persona. Two and two.
Well, I always talk about wherever I go, when I'm given talks about failure and what you can learn and what failure can produce. And in this game, it's a game of failure. If you come up from a lot of failure, you know you can go through anything. And that's what this young man early has been able to show, that perseverance of making changes, getting up off the mat and adjusting.
Fires a 2-2 and strikes out Grisham with the high fastball. 5th K for Stone, 1 gone in the 5th. Back to the top of the Yankees order. Anthony Volpe to the plate. We go down to Kenny.
Guys, it was fascinating today listening to Aaron Boone talk about Anthony Volpe's progress defensively. He said if possible, he's maybe gone to another level defensively. I can't believe how good he is at shortstop. If you remember, and Boone mentioned this, there was talk that Volpe's arm might not be strong enough for the position. He might need to move to second base. No talk of that now. Gunnar Henderson hit his 20th homer today. Bobby Witt Jr. is playing great, but Anthony Volpe's having a great year on his own.
Certainly all-star caliber season, which is a long jump from what he did as a rookie when he hit .209. It was Gold Glove defense, but the offense just in another stratosphere this year. When you put yourself on the same list as Mickey Mantle, you got to be doing something right. He's down swinging at a changeup. Gavin Stone did something right there. That's his 3rd consecutive K and his 6th total.
Changeup righty against righty. It's a good pitch now. It never used to be thought of way back when as a pitch you would throw, but you got him down and away, chasing a pitch, and then he ties him up with a changeup inside.
Comes home to Alex Verdugo, and he hooks one in the air deep to the right field corner. Long run, Hernandez not going to get there. Verdugo makes the turn. Here comes the throw. It's not in time. 2-out double. Alex Verdugo says hello to the guy that he was once traded for.
Well, speaking of Aaron Boone loving things, he loves them. Some Mr. Verdugo. He couldn't stop talking about what he's done since he's gotten here. Hits one off the end of the bat, kind of tails away from Hernandez, but he puts on the boosters right about halfway through to slide in safely.
And he gets Judge to the plate with a tying run in scoring position. Ball one from Stone.
This is going to be one of those unintentionally. He might only get 2 pitches to pitch to Aaron Judge before they decide to walk him, but with a base open and a 1-run lead, playing with fire.
Already has a home run tonight, his 22nd. And here's an area where Aaron Judge has gone to Barry Bonds levels. It's like that a lot of times where he may get 1 pitch a night to hit, and he often does into the seats.
Yeah, he's locked in that fashion right now.
Nice pitch.
Tight slider down, pulled off of it just a little bit. Being 6'8", that's a tough pitch down here in that zone for him to get.
3-1 on Judge. Verdugo at second, 2 gone, 3-1 pitch. Takes ball 4. And it was an unintentional walk. Judge has been on base 6 times in these 2 games.
And again, the reason I say that is just the strikeout the time before against Stanton looked bad, and you got to make Stanton beat you. I mean, that's why lineups are constructed the way they are. You got to give respect to some people that are hot, and Aaron Judge is beyond hot right now.
First and second, 2 away. Stanton is 0 for 2. Strike 1. Lays off this time. Count evens a ball and a strike. And the 34-year-old Giancarlo Stanton, 15th season in the big leagues, his 7th one in New York. On this 1-1 pitch, takes outside, ball 2.
You know, for a big person, he likes the ball down in the lower part of the strike zone, but it also makes him susceptible to that pitch down that breaks below the strike zone, and that's what Stone's trying to do, entice him to see a ball that he likes but end up being outside the zone for a swing and a miss.
2 on, 2 out. Stanton swings and misses. Challenge him with a fastball to the inner part there.
Good 2-seam fastball inside. Tied him up.
Couple 2-out base runners for the Yankees. 2-2 pitch from Gavin Stone. High fly ball, deep center field. Pages going back with enough room. It dies just in front of the 408 sign. It ends the 5th inning. Gavin Stone, a deep breath and a sigh of relief. Always World Series or bust for these 2 franchises. Expectations sky high again. So much history. Dodgers, Yankees. They're trying to win the series, leading 3-2 as we go to the 6th inning. Shohei Ohtani leads off and takes a strike from Nestor Cortes. Ohtani with an RBI single his last time up. Big swing here, fouls it off. 0-2. His RBI singles, which with a much shorter swing. Hitting coaches are calling that his Ichiro club.
Yeah, I tell you what, can't wait to watch the next 9 years.
Off balance here, a little pop left side. Routine play for DJ LeMahieu in the first out of the 6th. Well, Ohtani's base hit is the only one for the top 4 in the lineup tonight, but overall this season they've been as advertised, the top 1 through 4 in baseball, when you add Will Smith to the equation with Betts, Ohtani, and Freeman. A whole collection of guys beyond that. Now Muncy's been hurt. James Outman has been sent down to AAA. They're waiting for other guys to catch fire down there as Freeman swats this one to left, and it sails over Verdugo, who got a bad read, came in, and then the ball took off on him. It's turned into a double. Verdugo's been the best defensive outfielder in baseball this year. Just did not see that one off of the bat right.
Yeah, they playing him shallow, and the ball had a funky spin off the left-handed bat of Freeman, and it really had more carry. You're going to see how shallow he is, and then all of a sudden that ball takes off. So they had him kind of positioned the way that the chart shows that Freeman hits the ball, and a rare misplay by a really good left fielder.
Freddie Freeman's got himself a double. Dodgers with a runner in scoring position here in the 6th. Will Smith the batter. Matt Blake's coming out for a visit with Cortez. Tell you what, the pitching staff as a whole has been really good when you lead a broadcast with a graphic with a picture of the pitching coach on it. That's what we did tonight, because this Yankees staff has been as good as any in baseball. And Matt Blake heading that charge. No, it's turned around tonight for Dave Roberts' team. A hit for Freddie Freeman, just the second for the big guys at the top. Out of the lineup is teed things up. Home runs from Hernandez and Hernandez, Teoscar and Kike. Smith jams one into shallow center field. That'll drop in for a hit. Freeman had to be sure that it would fall, so he takes just 90 feet. Will Smith has his first hit of the weekend.
Well, he's got a talked about how well he's done off of left-handed pitching is Will Smith. He goes right up the middle here. Didn't hit it super hard, but good enough. And right now the Yankees are going to try and stall for some time to get their right-handed reliever ready, and this is very well could be the moment that Aaron Boone is waiting to take out his starter.
The guy coming up in Teoscar Hernandez took him deep earlier tonight. Now, Rickwood Field, the oldest professional ballpark in the United States and former home of the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro Leagues, will be the site of a special regular season contest. The Cardinals and the Giants on June 20th. Coming up in less than 2 weeks, going to play a game at Rickwood. Here in New York, folks getting fired up for the Rickwood Classic. You pretty much pick a big name from baseball history, and they played at Rickwood Field. We'll relive all that history on Fox coming up in a couple Thursdays. All right, so they're still waiting. Looks like they are going to let Nestor Cortez face Teoscar Hernandez.
Well, a lot of swing and miss. Struck him out last time. Just looking now for that ground ball to turn to double play to end the inning.
You got old rubber arm Michael Tonkin out there warming up. First and third, one away. Cortez to Hernandez, and he takes ball one. Yeah, and that's going to be the last pitch that he throws. The mid-AB change coming here. So Nestor Cortez's night is finished 5 1/3 and a pitch. Vote daily at MLB.com/vote to get your favorite players to the All-Star game. Michael Tonkin, boy, this is the most interesting man in the world with the path he's taken to get here, away from the major leagues for 5 years. Shows up again last year with the Braves, DFA'd 3 times in April, but now thriving with the Yankees and spinning ball one to Teoscar Hernandez, or ball two, beg your pardon, as he comes in with a 1-0 count.
Sinker, slider, and he'll break that curveball, sweep it across the zone with that lower arm angle.
And strike 2 and 1. Inning in 2/3 last night, but he's out there again as Cortez goes 5 1/3, 3 runs, but the runners at first and third his responsibility. So relying on Tonkin here to preserve that line. 2-2. Talking 34 years of age. He's from Southern California, from Palmdale. ERA near 1 in his month plus with the Yanks. Hernandez grounds one to third. Backhand stab. LeMahieu goes to second to get the lead man. Runner scores from third, but what a play that was by DJ LeMahieu to get the second out.
He really only had one play, and Smith sliding into the bag was really close, but slid past the bag. And so it wouldn't have mattered even if he was safe. They would have gone and tagged him. But what a great play by LeMahieu.
Third base, DJ says, a position where he has to put the most time in to feel comfortable. Second baseman for most of his career. He's gotten comfortable at first. Playing pretty much exclusively third these days. Made a heck of a play there. Strike on Pages.
I wonder when the heartbeat's going to slow down for Tonkin. That's one of the fastest I've ever seen somebody get ready in the bullpen. It was I was nervous for him.
I mean, he's got to be saying, how did I get here? DFA'd 3 times in 3 weeks in April, and then he's pitching in front of 48,000 people in high leverage last night, a 0-0 game. Dodgers-Yankees game. Former 30th round draft pick. That was 16 years ago. Hernandez takes off on him. Pages swings and misses. Hernandez into second with no contest. Tonkin gets to the big leagues with the Twins. He beats the odds just doing that. Spends parts of 5 years in Minnesota. And then pitches for 9 different organizations in 4 different countries before getting back to the big leagues last year. Hernandez into scoring position, but it doesn't matter as Tonkin strikes out Pages to finish off the top of the 6th. Dodgers add a run and lead at 4-2. It's a long grind, but Dodgers and Yankees, both first place teams, squaring off in an extra innings game the first night. 4-2. Tight one going tonight as Anthony Rizzo takes the ball from Gavin Stone.
Well, Gavin Stone has survived those first 3 innings. Could have been some big crooked numbers. Only gave up 2 solos. And now has a 2-run lead. So he has really he has been on a roll. He came in here with 13 scoreless innings. Only given up 2 against the Yankees so far.
Anthony Rizzo shows bunt, squares around, takes a strike as a show of what kind of a grind of a season this has been for Rizzo. Now Stone, with these 5 innings and 2 runs tonight since late April, has a 1.84 ERA. Good for tops in the National League. And he gets Rizzo for the first out of the 6th. For more, we go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, we've been talking about how composed Gavin Stone is. Well, this is his first trip ever to Yankee Stadium. When the Dodgers got here yesterday, he walked around outside a little bit. He told me the experience was pretty sweet.
From Riverside High School, Kenny, in tiny Lake City, Arkansas, a town of about 2,000 people, an hour from Memphis. He was the second to last pick of the draft in 2020. Granted, there was a 5-round draft, but just in time he got selected. Had his breakout season in the minor leagues a couple years after that. Got to the big leagues last year, did not go well. Man, oh man, what a turnaround it's been. Calm and composed. Home with an 0-2 to Torres.
Well, the Dodgers are no strangers to injuries, as world league wide pitching has been kind of a topic. And they got some guys coming back from injury that's going to strengthen their club as they make their stretch run.
Fly to right center field. Pages and Hernandez. Pages the call on the catch.
And if they can stay healthy, their rotation can stack up that with the Phillies. And the Braves were going to have a pretty good rotation, but when Strider went down, that kind of knocked them strength out. So we have a unique situation. I know it's early, and I know it's too early to put up standings and wild cards, but it is very unique where there are really no close races for second except for the Baltimore Orioles, and there are a ton of teams within 4 games, 9 deep in the wild card. Now that'll, you think, will work itself out, but the reason I bring that up is that's going to hurt the trade market for teams that are looking to make their club a better club. when you think about what the Dodgers are hoping to add, or even the Braves or any team that's in the hunt, they're going to have to wait a while unless they make early moves like the San Diego Padres did.
0-2 on LeMahieu. So yeah, to your point, John, in the National League, everybody thinks they're involved at this point. There are 8 teams within 2.5 games of the wild card spots.
And even the 10th team, the Mets, are 4.
Right.
So granted, there's a ton of teams, but my point is, it's like it's shaping up to be
base hit to center for LeMahieu.
A very interesting wild card race this year, because divisionally there's some separations already between the first and second place teams. So the trade talk and the trades might have to wait closer to that deadline.
Hey, I got a guy who knows everything about trades and what's going on out there. Hey, Kenny, what you got?
One more point on this, guys, and it's an excellent point that you're making. Arizona Diamondbacks last year on August 14th were 59-60. Everyone is now thinking, why can't we be the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, they just barely got in. They were the last team in the field. Even the Phillies the year before that, they were the last team in the National League field. Yeah, the last 2 pennant winners. Austin Wells tying run at the plate, 2 gone in the 6th. Wells bangs a base hit to center. Yankees making some noise with 2 gone.
That late kick, hit a ball away. Right in your living room.
Yankees out hitting the Dodgers in this game, 8-7. So Mark Pryor's out there for a visit. Bullpen gets going. That's Alex Vesia. One of the few guys the Dodgers didn't use last night. You were touching on it. Both these teams tapping into their bullpens to get into that 11-inning ball game. And so the length from Stone extra important tonight. Another chance for the Yankees here. They're 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. They're 1 for 13 in this series in these situations. It's the 9-hitter Trent Grisham.
And again, I know Trent doesn't come out of his routine very often, but if I were him, I'd be looking to be aggressive first pitch. He takes a lot of first pitches. 2 outs, a better chance to be aggressive here. And he didn't get a pitch, but looked like he might have been on the attack a little bit more normal than he normally does. He takes a lot of pitches, get deep in the count.
He's only got 4 hits this year, but he's made them count. 2 of those 4 have been home runs, including one earlier on this homestand. 2-0. Top of the order, and Volpe due next. LeMahieu at second. Wells at first. 2-0 comes home, and that's ball 3. Stone against a guy who swings rarely, falling behind 3-0, and while walking him on 4 pitches.
Yeah, the Yankees' success tonight has been early in the count. 5 of the 8 hits have been in the first or second pitch. And they're going to do the same thing the Yankees did. Send their catcher out to give a little more time.
And as they do, gives us a chance to tell you about tomorrow on Fox. A battle for the XFL Conference Championship. The San Antonio Brahmas take on the St. Louis Battlehawks. United Football League playoffs continue tomorrow, 7 Eastern on Fox. So Will Smith is out there, Mookie Betts and Kike Hernandez as well. And it was just a stalling tactic to give Alex Vesia a little bit more time. The left-hander retires both sides typically, so Dave Roberts not afraid to bring him on for the right-handed batting Anthony Volpe. Yankees have loaded the bases. They trail the Dodgers 4-2. Anthony Volpe coming up when you come back. Wins Dodgers Yankees. Aaron Judge has hit his 22nd home run of the year to lead the majors. Back in the third. Blah! Hit it so hard it had fire coming off it. Dodgers took the first game of this series last night, 2-1 in extra innings, and game 2 is a good one as well. Bases loaded for Anthony Volpe as Alex Vesia comes on to face him. Sweeps the first one down and in, 1 ball, no strikes.
Fastball slider guy, and you see the game that Gavin Stone has had. He's got the mercy of watching his reliever save 3 runs for him on the bases.
There's a strike. Alex Vesia having a career year. He's given up 1 earned run in his last 19 games. Mentioning, Dave Roberts not afraid to bring him on to face a right-handed hitter. That's because righties are 6 for 55 against him this year. The 1-1 pitch. Fouled off, and it's 1-2.
Well, it's tough to pick up the ball the way he throws and hides the ball, and he's got that fastball slider combination, comes right after you and can't really pick it up, so the ball's on you quick. And when he elevates his fastball, boy, that's even doubly tough on the hitters.
Bases loaded, 2 gone in the 6th. The 1-2 from Vesia. Inside, even the count. Now, the only way to get to Alex Vesia has been through walks, and that has been at time a problem for him. No room for that here with the bases jammed. LeMahieu's at third. Wells is at second. Grisham at first. Bottom of the order, loading them up. On 2-2, Volpe flexes one into left field. Taylor is there, and Alex Vesia is out of this bases loaded jam. Here in New York at this time of year. They always are, but especially when it's going the way it's going, with the Yanks sitting at 45-20 with the best record in the American League and hosting the Dodgers on this perfect Saturday night as we swing back down into Yankee Stadium. 4-2 LA in front. The bottom of the order coming up here. Get dizzy on that ride.
Yeah.
We were talking last week about roller coasters.
No way, not for me.
Miguel Rojas is 0 for 2 today. Takes a strike from Michael Tonkin. Now, the Yankees bullpen overall very effective this year with a bunch of new faces in there. Second in the majors in ERA. Strikeout rate not nearly what it is. A lot of times you see Yankee relievers come in and just mow people down historically, but they're 25th in K rate. Potentially an area you can see the Yankees addressing as this summer goes on. Getting that man there, Tommy Kahnle, back from injury recently helps that. Got Clay Holmes at the back end. Good chance Holmes is unavailable tonight, though. He's pitched the last 2. Rarely do you see a Yankee go 3 days in a row.
Well, part of that trade to get Soto, they gave up a couple arms, and they felt that the return of what they had and the offensive gain was going to be so much more positive, and it has.
It's a bummer for everybody that he's not able to play this weekend, but guy that it's the biggest bummer for is him, because he is wired to it. I mean, he loves, the bigger the stage, the more he loves it.
Yeah.
This is the kind of series he's made for. It's another reason why it's easy for Yankees fans to dream big about this year. What's Juan Soto going to look like in October in New York? He's certainly performed on that stage before. Volpe backs up, fields this one cleanly to get Rojas. Ken Rosenthal, how much is it going to take to keep Juan Soto a Yankee?
Well, I know people are going to think this is crazy, but I would say the floor is $500 million. And the reason I say that is not just because of Soto's skill, but also because he's going to hit the open market at 26. So if he gets $500 million and it includes no deferrals, that's going to beat the present-day value of Shohei Ohtani's deal, which is heavily deferred. And then the question becomes, okay, which teams would offer Soto such a deal? The Yankees certainly are one. The crosstown Mets could be another.
Do you think that matters, Kenny? Like, is it a bigger deal that the Mets could be the team that come and take Juan Soto? Does that inspire you extra to keep him?
There's always something to that New York rivalry, but at the same time, the Mets, if they want to, if Steve Cohen wants to, and he thinks Juan Soto's the guy for the future, he can outbid anyone, and will. So that is something that has to be in the back of Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner's mind. And then again, the Mets are much more than one player away, so it remains to be seen just how this is all going to play out.
Tell you what, his value certainly has not gone down in these 2 days here where the Yankees have not done a whole lot without him. Hernandez flies out to center field. I think the floor went from $500 million to $501 million last night as they went scoreless over the first 10 innings, and it's up to $502 million tonight as they've scored 2 through 6.
Well, he's a difference maker, and that's why they made the trade. Look, there's no secret that the Yankees have had a drought of World Series, so it's to get to the World Series. The ideal situation is to win another one in an organization that's won a ton. But then after that, I think they have a little more luxury if they are to win a World Series with Soto than if they don't. And I know it sounds crazy, but you know, then it's you got your World Series and you don't have to break the bank to keep somebody or go financially in a place you don't want to go. So there's so much to be seen. And really, I think when you look at teams in the American League that could threaten the Yankees and what they have to counteract their offense, obviously the Seattle Mariners and their pitching staff, but can they score enough? And then the Baltimore Orioles. But they lost 2 pitchers recently, which is not helping.
Clean inning right there for Michael Tonkin. We stretch in New York. Dodgers and Yankees got a good one going. Well, the sights from Yankee Stadium on this Saturday night as the Dodgers and Yankees go head-to-head. 4-2, Dodgers in front, and a Yankees offense that was scoring 7 runs per game during an 8-game winning streak coming in has managed only 3 without Juan Soto in these 2 games this weekend. Took them until the 11th inning yesterday, and they've got 2 runs only tonight as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Stadium Profile sponsored by SeatGeek, and our history tour continues. We'll chat about the stadiums of New York, the Polo Grounds, which is shared by 3 teams. Ebbets Field, home of the Brooklyn Dodgers. Yankee Stadium opened in 1923. Yankees moved from the Polo Grounds across the Harlem River over here to Yankee Stadium, just a stone's throw away where the Polo Grounds were, described as a huge bathtub with a baseball diamond crammed inside. The way that place laid out in that Ebbets Field, 14-mile drive. If you can cut straight through from here at Yankee Stadium down to Brooklyn.
By the way, speaking of stadiums, where we're going to go in a couple weeks in Birmingham, did you see those dimensions of the park that it used to be?
Yeah, they took great pride in how big that place was. Babe Ruth, when he started to change baseball, 55 home run season in 1920. The next spring, he made his first visit to Rickwood Field, and they were saying in the papers, no way the Babe can hit it out of our ballpark. So they took pride in the fact that this place was gigantic.
I know I got it in my phone somewhere, but I think 426 down the line and 5 something and 486, and it was insane.
478 to center field there.
Wow.
420 down the right field line. Just to give that some perspective, to dead center field here at Yankee Stadium, it's 408. And it was 420 down the line. And to the patrons' pleasure in the 1921 spring, Babe went 0 for 4 in his first trip to Rickwood Field. Not even the Babe could get it out of that huge ballpark. They have moved the fences in. Still, though, it's going to be a tough place to hit it out of. Alex Verdugo starts this inning against Alex Vesia with the Dodgers in front 4-2. Vesia came on in a bases-loaded situation and got Anthony Volpe to finish off the bottom of the 6th. 2 hits in this game for Verdugo. 1 ball, 1 strike. So 2, 3, and 4 for the Yankees here. Judge and Stanton to follow. Wow, get off me ball.
Well, the approach for Verdugo is a unique one. He has a very quiet and then leans in to the pitch with his momentum going towards the pitcher, but he makes contact more times than not, which is it's just a skill set that he possesses in a league full of swing and miss type pitching. It's almost nonchalant. I'm not here. I'm not here. Don't worry about me. And then goes to get a ball.
Dodgers fans know him well. He made his debut with the Dodgers. First 3 seasons in LA. Debuted when he was 21 for that trade to Boston. For that man there. So you had a guy in Verdugo still trying to find his way, and then he had that attached to him, where every time his name was brought up, it was in relation to Mookie Betts. Hernandez up onto the tarp, and it's out of play. So this has lived up to the billing, I think, in every way so far this weekend, hasn't it? I mean, last night's game goes into the 11th inning. Pitchers duel the finest quality, and tight tonight.
You know, I just remember as a player answering the questions these guys are answering, like, no big. It's a big deal when you get a matchup like this. 2 teams going in the direction that everybody anticipates. You get fired up. You approach it totally different. And you know what I actually think for the Dodgers, who everybody and every expert picks they're going to win their division, and rightfully so. This might be what they needed. A series like this, like everyone's going to give the Dodgers their best shot, but you go through some of the stretches they've gone through and it just doesn't look right, and the expectation, and all of a sudden you face the Yankees, that man on the mound, and right now they're leading game 2 and playing a little better.
Verdugo flies it to left field for Chris Taylor, and first out of the 7th.
By the way, they just got done facing a couple flamethrowers over there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Skeens and Jones, both those guys. That makes the Pirates. We're talking about 8 teams in the wild card picture in the National League. Pirates being one of them. Nobody wants to face those dudes in a short series.
No, it's got to change their organizational philosophy, though, if they're going to fire up that fan base by adding instead of subtracting.
Judge with 1 away. Yeah, so the Dodgers, this stretch where they're 7-8 over their last 15 games, right around 500 for the last month. That's not been against a very tough part of the schedule, but that is right in line with your point.
Yeah.
They got this huge lead already. It's only human nature that in this long season you're going to have some lulls. A jolt this weekend coming to New York.
Yeah, not to mention the travel. They were East Coast, went home for 3 and came back to the East Coast. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can fall on and give an excuse for your ball club. That's not what the Dodgers will do, or Dave Roberts. But their talent and their ability to dominate will come in the second half, I think, when they add a couple pieces that they're going to need to just kind of shore up some shortcomings on their ball club.
2-1 to Aaron Judge, and a fastball sneaks by him. You're talking about that high fastball of Alex Vesia, using it to challenge Judge, and it's 94-95, but guys just don't see it.
No, they don't. And the delivery, which is part of deception for pitching, is part of his success too, because unique in the way that he rocks back. It's not a short arm, but it sure comes on the hitter quickly.
He's got both strikes on that fastball against Judge. See what he does on 2-2. He sticks with a heater. And it's pop foul and out of play. Oh, over near the sidewall. Freeman had a chance, but it was into the net first. Gave up on that thing too quickly. Caught it cleanly, but they're saying that it was off of the net first.
that netting is there for a reason and protect the fans from some of the velocity comes off the bat. Foul balls.
Vesia saying, oh, geez, I got to throw another to this guy. I thought I had him. Fastball to strike him out. How about Alex Vesia? Strike one with 94, strike two with 95, and then he finishes him off with 96.
Ball comes out of his hand, pops, especially up. Almost looks like that ball rises, even though it doesn't to the hitter. It looks so good until it's by you.
Base is empty, 2 out, and Giancarlo Stanton to the plate. Vesia watched a YouTube video of Max Scherzer talking about how he grips his fastball. He gets such great ride on it.
Yeah.
And made his grip match that when he was coming up through the Marlins minor league system. And pretty much from that point forward, he became a dynamite pitcher in the minors, striking everybody out, and fueled his rise to the big leagues.
Well, that arm swing in the back with the way that he delivers the ball, and we already talked about how they don't see it. It has that extra life at home plate. Hitters will tell you perceived velocity is more important than actual velocity.
He's had both tonight. The 96 that he threw to Judge was his fastest pitch of the year. 1-2 on Stanton. Pop fly right side of the diamond, and Alex Vesia comes into a bases loaded situation in the 6th inning. He's gone 4 up, 4 down against the top 4 in the Yankees lineup. So after 7 innings, the Dodgers 4, the Yankees 2, and the history extends into the broadcast booth. Some of the all-time greats, including number 1. Corona, no purchase necessary. Must be 21 years or older to enter. Restrictions apply. See rules and enter at MLB.com/moments. Tommy Kahnle missed the first month and a half of this season, recovering from a shoulder injury. 6 games back. He's got a 1.59 ERA. Facing the top of the Dodger lineup in a 4-2 game. Ball 1 to Mookie Betts.
Everything's power. Power changeup, power breaking ball, power fastball. And he goes right after the hitter. Throws a lot of changeups when he's right. Mookie has yet to get on the board tonight.
At 0 for 3. And 2-0 on Betts. Kahnle is one of 4 Yankees relievers that pitched for the Dodgers. With the Dodgers in 2022, rehab back from an injury there after breaking out with the Yankees in his first stint in New York. 2nd year of his 2nd term. There's that change, and it's 2-1.
Well, the reason it's so good, and it's power, meaning it's a high velocity changeup. He throws it with the same arm action that he does with his fastball, and the hitter can't really pick that up.
Mookie Betts starting the 8th. And he's worked the count full.
I just wonder how many hitters today say he's got to throw a 3-2 changeup. He threw 2 of them before that fastball. Can you sit on a 3-2 changeup? I don't know that hitters do that much these days.
It is a 3-2 fastball that misses away, and Betts has a leadoff walk. So man aboard for Shohei Ohtani. 1 out of 3 with an RBI single tonight. After 6 years with the Angels, Shohei entered free agency, wanted a team that could get him to October. And the Dodgers, a perfect match. They needed a player to push him over the top. We talk about all the division titles, but just 1 trophy to show for it. It's a strike from Kahnle.
It said it all with his eyes right there. It's like, I don't know.
When you look at what has gone wrong in recent postseasons for the Dodgers last year, the offense wasn't there, but they were in huge holes early in games. Starting pitching, they had run out of steam by the end of the year. Is this the player that can help push them over the top? These dominant regular seasons. Can he change their story in October? I know that the baseball world is so fired up to see this guy play in October for the first time.
Well, and rightfully so. I mean, his former teammate, Mike Trout, hadn't got to do that much. I think he had 1 year of the postseason. So when you dominate the regular season like these guys have, you just want that to translate into the postseason.
How many titles does it take over his 10-year deal to be considered a success?
I mean, first of all, it's got to start with one, but it's got to end with at least two. I think they got to get. I mean, they didn't sign him just to get one. I mean, they realized what their organization valued.
Grounded to second. Torres over. Took a weird hop on him, and he has no play. Well, Torres committed an error in last night's game, nonchalantly going after a pop fly. Yeah, and he's committed an error here.
This ball looked like it kind of jammed him. As we look at last night, it was a pop-up that I'm sure he felt was breadbasket material, like no big deal. I've done this a bunch. And until you don't. That one had top spin, hit him on the heel, and Ohtani's speed. There's no way you're going to get him.
So the table's set for Freddie Freeman. Nobody out here in the 8th inning. Dodgers trying to add on. Freeman doubled and scored his last time up. Freeman has set such a high bar for himself. Career 300 hitter. One of the top hitters of this generation. And so you look and see 290. And it's like, hey, pretty darn good year, especially given the offensive environment. But for him, he's felt like he's been searching for most of this season. On this 1-1 from Canley, swings and misses at a good changeup. Freeman was one of those guys who just did not have it in the postseason last year. Betts was hitless. Freeman was 1 for 10. The 1-2. And these issues that Freddie feels like he's been having, he says they go all the way back to late last season. He was feeling mechanically off down the stretch and into the postseason. Just that subtle feeling of his front hip flying open. Two on, nobody out, and a 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off.
Well, you just wonder as he continues to age, and he has shown no signs really of that being a factor, but in the unique batting style that he has, the strength it takes with your wrist, which he's had issues before, and the mechanics he's talking about when they get off a little bit, because it's unorthodox, it's not prototypical, it's not like anybody else hits like him, but a big guy who's strong upper body and lower legs just do a lot of the heavy lifting as he gets the barrel of the bat to the ball more times than not.
Chase a change here for the first out. Let's check in again with Ken Rosenthal.
Well, guys, one of the most compelling things about this series is that if Juan Soto appears at any time, we'll have at least 5 likely Hall of Famers on the field. Soto and Judge, Betts, Ohtani, and Freeman. And who knows, it could be 6 or even more by the time all is said and done. Maybe Giancarlo Stanton makes it, Will Smith, somebody, anybody. Now, here's an interesting note. According to MLB.com's Mike Petriello and Jason Bernard, the last time 6 Hall of Famers batted in the same inning of any game, that was 1983.
Wow. Will Smith here with 2 on and 1 out. You may hear Giancarlo Stanton say, wait a minute, Hall of Fame, but Kenny, there's a precedent there where he's sitting at 417 home runs, more than anybody since his debut, within range of 500. And if you get to 500, Kenny, you're pretty much in these days, right?
That's right, Joe. He's the active leader right now. And everybody with 500 or more who has not been linked to PEDs is in. So he would be an interesting test case.
It's a fly ball deep down the left field line off of the bat of Will Smith. Verdugo into the corner, can't get it, but a foul ball. Very exciting foul ball, and back to you, Kenny.
So I talked to Giancarlo yesterday about this, and he said, okay, I know I'm a DH, that's going to hurt me in the Hall of Fame conversation. And I know that it's not all about counting stats anymore, but at the same time, I've just got to keep going, keep playing, and we'll see where he is at the end. He also has great postseason numbers. That's something to keep in mind as well. So there's a chance. I'm not saying it's a great chance, but if he gets the 500, it's a conversation.
Man, what a shot of perspective that is with how frustrating his Yankee career has felt for a lot of the way.
Well, a lot of it is just that for the longest time, him and Judge couldn't stay on the field together, right? The notion of those two back-to-back and playing healthy, two beasts, and since he's got here, Stanton has had his ton of injuries.
Well, Soto and Judge is what Judge and Stanton was supposed to be.
Right.
Canley comes home and Smith stays alive. Another 1-2 pitch.
Smith has been one of the shining runners in scoring position batters for the Dodgers. Coming into this game, he was hitting .333, and only Betts and Rojas had the 3 in their number. Bet you trade that one for the high changeup. That's the one you want for a pitcher. It's funny when you get a call that you know probably wasn't a strike, but it's in an area where you don't throw it very often. You're kind of torn. You're like, I could use the more dominant one down that's harder to hit. And you always look for that leniency, and wherever you can get it from a pitcher's standpoint to put pressure not only on that hitter who didn't agree, but the umpire who called it.
That's his second. Ohtani at first, and a 3-2, the 8th pitch to Will Smith. There'll be a 9th.
That's what I miss most about, back then it was a little different with the umpires being in the American League and National League and everyone having an individual strike zone. You could kind of cater your game to an umpire. Now they've tried to make everybody the same, which is, I think, still a little bit of a mistake. But with technology, we see the pitches now and where it crosses and whether it was a strike or not.
Smith has earned the walk, and he's loaded the bases. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Homes.com. We've done your homework. Dodgers have scored a single run in 4 different innings today, trying to crack this thing open as Matt Blake comes out for a visit. Teoscar Hernandez is due up to hit. Hernandez has knocked in for the Dodgers 6 runs in this series. And it's Dennis Santana who's getting loose.
An atypical game for the Yankees offense. Give Stone and the pitching staff for the Dodgers some credit, but the Yankees had a chance to break open the game early, and they've had runners on early and did not cash in like the Yankees typically do. And it's the reason they're two runs back here, and now the Dodgers are close to breaking it open with a big hit here in the 8th.
Now, there have been people, John, that have argued that clutch is not a thing, that you just happen into production in big spots. But this looks like a guy here in Teoscar Hernandez who proves that completely false.
Yeah, there's a heartbeat and a rhythm to being in moments that make your heart go fast, and some could slow it down and deliver.
Now, we've been flashing back to the history of the rivalry between these two teams. Tell those guys in series that there is no such thing as clutch. Come on. Hernandez on an 0-1 from Canely. Takes low. Teoscar said that's one of the reasons he wanted to come play for the Dodgers. He knew, like Ohtani, that he had a chance to play in big games, big environments like the one that he's playing in this weekend. Two and one with nowhere to put him.
When Canely's on his best, he's got that power changeup closer to the zone, which puts the hitter on alert to not take it like the last couple. So he's working the count against where his strength is and behind the count.
An error and 2 walks have loaded the bases, and now 2-2 on Hernandez. It is 14th home run in the 2nd inning. He's knocked in his 42nd and his 43rd to lead the club and put him into 6th in the National League. Trying to break this game open in the 8th on a 2-2 from Canely. Hernandez lifts a fly ball to left center field. Back goes Verdugo, running out of room. Goodbye. Grand slam. Teoscar Hernandez. Owning center stage in New York this weekend.
And sending a lot of Yankee faithful to the exits. That is sitting on a changeup or getting a changeup and delivering, as you mentioned, at the right time.
The Dodgers have scored 10 runs in these 2 games. Teoscar Hernandez has driven in 8 of the 10, including a career high 6 of them tonight. His 2nd home run of the game is a grand slam, and it has changed the equation from tight and tense to an LA party in New York. Had his first bat and glove before he had his first pair of shoes. Gone from Limon to the big leagues and having a career night tonight. 2 home runs and 6 driven in at Yankee Stadium. 8-2 Los Angeles as Dennis Santana comes on and replaces Tommy Canely. Facing Andy Pages. Strike 1. Now, Teoscar Hernandez, no matter where he's been, has been a fan favorite, been a clubhouse favorite, and you can see it, not just the performance, but the smile and the vibe that he brings into that dugout. Dave Roberts was telling Ken Rosenthal earlier, every day he's shown up and brought that positive vibe, consistent in his performance, consistent in his presence too.
Yeah, well, of course, being in the same division for a long time, not unfamiliar with this ballpark, but there you have it. 6 RBIs in Yankee Stadium for Dodger Blue. It's already been a great trip.
He's like, we get to do this again tomorrow. I feel like, you know, it's like you make a weekend trip to New York. A lot of times you hit Saturday night and it's like, wow, we got another night. We've gone hard. It's gone hard. 6 RBIs in 2 games. And the Dodgers on the verge of taking this series from the Yankees, who had not dropped a series over their last 10 series.
And I know there's not 2 outs, so the inning wouldn't have ended with that error, but sometimes an innocent error, you just know how it sometimes affects a good team. You just can't give the good team extra outs. Looked like a routine play with some funny spin, though. Ended up being first and second instead of at least one more out in the inning.
Pages somehow gets to that ball and just misses, keeping it fair. Andy Pages, a 23-year-old rookie from Cuba who lit the world on fire his first few weeks when he came up in April, but then, as every young player does, as every player period does, went into a tough slump. His slump was 20 games long. He hit 123. But when it's a young player who's not gone through it, you always wait. Can he come out of it? And has he ever? Close to 500 his last 10 games.
Now, I know Santana statistically may not look like he's having a great year, but I just like the upside of the way the ball comes out of his hand. If he can hone in his mechanics and get a little more command, he got a few too many walks to strikeouts, but I'll tell you what, his fastball plays and it slings. That wasn't the four-seam fastball right there, but kind of a slingshot arm action, and see how he develops for the Yankees.
Parts of 4 seasons with the Dodgers. He's bounced all over the place the last few years before winding up with the Yankees.
See right there the reaction of the hitter. I mean, if he can just stay on top of the ball, even with a lower three-quarter delivery, the ball will explode, and then he just utilizes his secondary stuff. Easier said than done.
Working hard against Pages. Next pitch will be the 10th. Well, Santana's only been pitching for a decade.
Yeah.
He was a shortstop when he signed out of the Dominican Republic, hit a .198 in rookie ball, and then he wasn't hustling on a few routine grounders, and one of the rookie league coaches said, hey, this ain't working. Why don't we give pitching a shot? First time in his life he had tried pitching. It was as a pro. Got him to the big leagues. Going to win this marathon against Pages in shallow left field. Volpe's there. Dodgers with an 8-2 lead. Teoscar Hernandez with a 2-home run night.
This ball had tremendous carry when it was first hit. Thought maybe stay in the ballpark, but easily carried the fence.
I mean, that is $1 million smile. 2 gone in the 8th for Rojas. And Hernandez has played in the postseason twice, but both in the wild card round and both early exits. And he said, I love that experience being in the postseason, but I want more. Could you see it coming with guys that performed in the postseason? Could you see signs earlier? Can you not know until you actually get there?
I would say sometimes you got to find out till you get there, because it is totally 2 different atmospheres. I mean, it's not really remotely close. You tell yourself to play like a regular season game, but you're only kidding yourself till you get there.
That shot to left field by Rojas. Verdugo's going back. That ball's off the top of the wall. Ricocheted right to Verdugo. Could be a play at second. He's out. Tag from Torres. So an outfield assist for Alex Verdugo keeps his single from turning into a double. The Dodgers saying hang on. Their video room taking a look. You take a look for yourselves. Ooh,
man. Let it go, just mainly probably because of the score and how closely you could make an argument. If it was closer, they could go after it.
All right, so the inning ends, but it comes to the biggest swing of the game, a grand slam from Teoscar Hernandez. The official ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball. June 8th. Mickey Mantle had his number 7 retired. Satchel Paige passed away on June 8th of 1982. And Alex Rodriguez is in the house with the pregame guys tonight. Hit his 400th home run at the age of 29, the youngest guy to reach that milestone. 2 home runs from that man, Teoscar Hernandez, and the Dodgers have an 8-2 lead as Ryan Yarbrough comes on to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. A team loaded with stars. This is a soft tossing lefty that has played a vital role for this team the first few months.
And it just goes to prove there's different ways to get guys to not hit the ball very hard, and he's one of the best at it. Funky, throws across his body. In a league full of average velocity, he is 3rd slowest. Somebody's got to be. But he's funky enough to provide innings, could start if he had to.
Did at times when he was at Tampa Bay. In fact, here at Yankee Stadium, he threw a complete game a few years back. Came to the Dodgers from the Royals at the deadline last year. Had signed a 1-year contract with Kansas City. And now back with the Dodgers, pitching as well as he ever has. Anthony Rizzo starting the 8th. Grounding the ball towards the middle. There's Betts ranging on the right side and getting him. So Mookie Betts continuing his journey at shortstop, which, man, here's a guy in his 11th big league season, perennial all-star, perennial gold glover in right field. Moves into second last year, was going to be the everyday second baseman this year until late in spring training. Gavin Lux struggles defensively at short, and so Mookie Betts goes to a position he's not played in more than a decade.
I'm blown away. I mean, you get to see it on a more daily basis, but the athleticism and the ability to do something at this level in his career with this expectation of a club, it's mind-boggling. And, you know, whether it's sustainable and goes throughout the year and through the playoffs, I just think it's amazing. And it hasn't really taken away offensively what you think at times it might, right? The stress of a new position, working on it. He's been just fine.
There's been some talk recently as he's slumped, like, okay, is this slump happening because he's investing so much energy in getting better at short? But Dave Roberts was saying the other day that's the easy narrative to take. The other way could just be hitting as hard too. And every hitter goes through slumps. Torres down on strikes, 2 gone in the 8th, and he's going to hear it. But even with that move, and even with the recent slump, he's top 5 in the National League in just about everything when you put it all together. And Mookie said, this is the hardest thing I've had to do. Two outs for DJ LeMahieu.
Well, when you think about position by position and what you get out of each position, it used to be forever ago, you know, you didn't need a shortstop to hit. You just needed him to play every day and be average and make great plays. They're getting tremendous offense from the catcher's position, shortstop position, of course, DH and first base, right? I mean, that changes the market of that position. Even though we got some dynamic, great shortstops, and look no further than in the division with the Baltimore Orioles and Henderson, it's a game changer when you get that kind of production and you're not suffering defensively.
And it also opens up the avenues the Dodgers can go as they look for a bat, because, okay, do you look for a shortstop? Well, there don't seem to be too many shortstops out there that are readily available. You look at second base. You can also look in the outfield, because it unlocks so many things with him moving into the infield. Last year it unlocked Jason Hayward getting to play more. He had his best season in a decade. Now on this roster, as it's currently constructed, the outfield, you know, tonight's night from Teoscar Hernandez's side has not been very good. Look out.
You know, I just wondered when the contract was signed and the anticipation of Ohtani playing 2 ways, and hopefully he gets to do that. It's unrealistic to think he'll do it for the next 9 years. I just wonder at some point if he ends up playing some outfield with the athleticism that he has, and obviously can't do it now because he's not really cleared to throw like that.
Walk for LeMahieu. Kenny, we're talking Dodger future here. What about the short-term future as they look at the market going into the deadline?
Well, they're always looking for pitching, but the conversation you guys just had about shortstop is really the fascinating one. Betts has made 9 errors, 8 on throws, and he's so hard on himself, you wonder if it does bother him. And I asked their infield coach, Dino Evil, before the game about that, and Dino said, listen, he is okay. But if the Dodgers somehow could get another shortstop, they could move Mookie to second. The other option would be to do what they've done tonight. Miguel Rojas at short, Mookie at second. You could do that as well. But at the same time, they want to stick with this. They believe that he has played as well as anybody could possibly have expected through this point of the season.
Jose Trevino pinch hitting for Austin Wells with the lefty on the mound.
And the beauty of it is, in theory, it's not going to cost him anything for winning the division. I mean, that's going to be a more than favorable outcome.
Yeah, 2 sides to it, right? Like 2 reasons for it. You might as well run him out there every day and allow him to get as good as he possibly can. And also, you can do that. And you don't have to be married to it. You also get to see what he can become. You have the best chance of knowing exactly what you've got there by having him there every day to look at. It's been a decade since his debut, almost to the day his major league debut in this ballpark, June 29, 2014. 1 for 3 with a single against Chase Whitley for his first big league hit. Red Sox won that game behind a home run from Big Papi. Pinch hit base hit for Trevino.
Well, I will say this, in the former ballpark that he played in at home, I don't think anybody could have played right field like he did. I mean, it's such a unique right field, and that's why he had so much asset to the Boston Red Sox, because of the unique field. You needed 2 center fielders to play the outfield there. And to see him play shortstop for the Dodgers, it still blows my mind.
Yeah, boy, they had quite the outfield there with him and Wright, Jackie Bradley Jr. at center. They did have 2 center fielders, really. Bottom of the order has done a nice job for the Yankees tonight. And, boy, getting guys on has not been the issue. The Yankees' issues have been once they've gotten men on. 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position today. And just 1 hit in the 2 games in those situations. Jahmai Jones going to pinch hit here for Trent Grisham.
Well, the Yankees don't want to test the theory unless they're resting players of what their record is without Juan Soto. And you just hope it's just a little bit of a knick-knack and not anything that's going to be prolonged, because we already know what they are with him in the lineup. And these last 2 games, small sample size, but 2 runs and 1 run.
Yeah, it's like you don't know what you got till it's gone. I think we pretty much knew, but this has definitely hammered that point home. It's just you remove him, and regardless of what the numbers have said and runs scored, it just all feels different. Even when you're reading through that lineup, I would imagine as a pitcher getting ready for the game, it feels so much different. You remove that one key component.
It works so mentally when I would get the lineup card and I wouldn't see a certain guy in there, like, hey, seriously, give me the real lineup card.
Yeah.
No, he's not playing. What? You know, or
kiss the card. Fly ball right center field. Pages has a beat on it. Hauls it and ends the inning. Oh, what a sweet shot. Drones are all the rage, Johnny.
I love it. And I'm actually controlling it right now.
You are good at that.
Yeah, wait, it's going way too high.
Oh, no. You've lost control. 9th inning in an 8-2 game. Dennis Santana back to work. Kike Hernandez leads off. He's had a good night. Walked and scored and hit an opposite field home run that put the Dodgers in front in the 5th. Second stint with LA. Went away to the Red Sox for a few years, had a good first season there, had a huge October his first year with the Red Sox, but then injuries for a couple of years that slowed him up. Dodgers got him again at the deadline last year, back on another one-year contract. He was very close actually to coming to the Yankees.
Well, he's another guy that had to play multiple positions and maybe a little out of position with the Red Sox.
He was your everyday center fielder for a while, then he was the everyday shortstop for a while. All the while dealing with what turned out to be a double hernia that they could not identify correctly. He's feeling pain in a different place, he said, just about every day, and they treat his hips, and then they gave him a PRP shot. They drained blood from his spine at one point. Nothing seemed to fix it. And then he gets traded to the Dodgers, and one of the members of the medical staff there said, you know what, this sounds like it could be a hernia, and he goes to a specialist and turns out it is, and he's been playing the last 2 years with not one but 2 sports hernias. So he has surgery to fix it this offseason. Feeling healthy again.
Is that the most you can have? Is 2?
I mean, you got 2 sides. I guess each side could have more than one, but I wouldn't want to test it.
No.
This series will wrap up tomorrow in a great pitching matchup for Sunday Night Baseball. Luis Gil for the Yankees, 8-1 with an American League best 182, and Tyler Glasnow for the Dodgers. He's got a 2.93 in his first year in LA. Hernandez down on strikes. You know what's crazy is Glasnow, as good as he's been, he's not gotten any support. His last 5 starts, the Dodgers have scored 0 runs with him in the game.
Yeah, that's crazy, and it happens every once in a while. And you get teammates that scratch their head, say, better you than me, but you may want to change something up. It's the most frustrating part of a team game, right? Like you do your part, everyone's trying to do their part, and no one's trying to not score, but there are certain times in pitchers' careers where they go through this kind of stretch, and you're hoping for a rain out, something to change the rhythm of when you're pitching. But you know what's more important? You have to stay locked in, because when your team does score a lot of runs, you don't want to be on the other side of giving up a lot of runs. You want to stay locked in until they get those runs figured out.
So they've got Glasnow and last night's starter Yamamoto headlining this rotation. You wonder if Gavin Stone has started to vault himself into that conversation. One of those trusted guys for Dave Roberts and company. Bobby Miller's working his way back. Clayton Kershaw ramping up, coming back from his first arm surgery. They've got Walker Buehler back recently. He's still trying to find his best again, almost 2 years away.
Fight.
Three-two to Chris Taylor. Fastball for strike 3. Two up and 2 down in this 9th inning for Santana, and up comes Mookie Betts. Walked and scored his last time. Been on base 4 times in this series. Went into Thursday in Pittsburgh, 1 for his last 25. He's now reached in 8 of his last 15 times at the plate. Kind of a half swing, get off me ball, race to the bag. Santana was napping, and Betts gets an infield hit out of it.
little extra gear when you don't have a hit in the game and you see an opening, even in a game that's well in hand. Just a lapse a moment right there, and that's all it takes for a pitcher. You got to remember where your players are positioned, and there is no way, of course, first baseman playing that far off. And I tell you, you gave it a great effort sliding into the bag. I don't know if I'd have gone that far, but you get awfully cleaned up here now.
Long limb guy almost swept that foot over to the bag, but not quite. And with this base hit for Betts, every Dodger starter has a hit tonight. 8 runs on 10 hits total. Yankees have 9 hits, but only 2 runs to show for it. And Ohtani gets another AB. .6'4", big, strong, but also can fly. Power and grace.
I go all the way back when he signed the contract thinking how unfair it was from the expectation standpoint. If you remember, his spring training was horrible. And they broke with the club, and just since he's been in the big leagues, nothing really has been horrible. And the hiccup coming back from Tommy John the first time, struggled out of the gate pitching, but then got locked in last year, of course, having the combination years. And then now, unfortunately, his second, technically, I don't know if they're calling it a Tommy John, but it's still in the family of Tommy John reconstruction.
Takes the walk here. And you can hear his reactions to it with some of Yankee Stadium having filed out after the grand slam from Hernandez. So a couple 2-out base runners for the Dodgers. Another visit here from Matt Blake. Freddie Freeman will come up. Doubled and a run scored in the 6th inning for Freeman. That's a rare night with a big number up against this Yankees pitching staff. If this score were to hold, it'd be the 2nd largest margin of defeat for the Yankees this season. You got to go back to April 2nd when they lost 7-0 in Arizona. The only other game where they've been behind like this at the end.
Yeah, I'm not like an all-in run differential guy, but they're on a pretty good run differential pace, and don't know what, you know, kind of plus 117 or something coming into tonight, I believe, but that speaks how dominant they've been.
Freeman cracks the ball to left center field. Jones won't get there. Extra bases for Freeman. 2 more runs for the Dodgers. Double digits tonight. 10-2 LA.
Well, when Freddie's right, he's doing a lot of this kind of hitting, gap to gap, stays inside the ball, head down, and has carried all parts of the field. He had an earlier double that was over the head of Verdugo, but this one clearly split him. All right,
what you got?
What is there? What is that? Just celebrate. Everyone's got a certain celebration. Do you know? It's like a.
They actually call that the Freddie.
The Freddie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dodger Gala, which they hold each summer. It's a big benefit concert. It was last summer. And Freddie Freeman feeling pretty good. Got up. Not the best dancer in the world, but has enough moves where he stood up and did that. And the next day, the whole team showed up doing that as their celebration. That's the move right there.
See, learn something every broadcast.
Next week, you'll perform it for the first time.
Yeah, we'll have to. You know what? Why don't we do it at Rickwood? Let's wait till
wait till we're on the roof.
We will see these Yankees next week.
In Boston, first matchup between those teams this season. Red Sox fell to the White Sox today. White Sox had dropped 14 consecutive games before beating Boston yesterday. And now they've won back-to-back games against Boston. Dropping the Sox back below 500. Some weird things going on in baseball this year. Teams that nobody thought would be any good or at the top of the division. You look down the teams that met in the championship series last year, Texas and Houston, both below 500. Houston's 29-35.
But I feel like they're coming.
I do too, but I've felt like that for a while, and it's just not happening.
I mean, they had dug such a big hole that, you know, to get to 500 is the first step, and they're inching their way towards it. Although a lot's going to depend on how long Tucker is out. Looks like maybe an infielder's going to pitch.
It has devolved to that. Oswaldo Cabrera is going to come on to pitch. Now, pretty much since we came on camera and said this series has lived up to the billing, it's gone downhill. Dodgers have blown it open. We got a position player to pitch. To Teoscar Hernandez. Oswaldo Cabrera has played 6 different positions for the Yankees in his couple years in the big leagues. He adds pitcher to that. Just got to get him a catcher's mitt and let him play center field for a game, and he'll have done all 9. Speaking of 9, Teoscar Hernandez has driven in 6 today. He has a chance to tie the Dodger record if he could homer against the position player here. That would give him 9.
I'll say this. He does it quickly. I mean, pitches in between pitches.
Yeah.
It's not the prettiest part of the game. Some people think it's entertainment, but it's really not fun for the manager or the team that has to go to this form, and that's position players who come in to pitch.
And even the hitters that face it will tell you it's not that fun because the floor is a lot lower than the ceiling is high. You hit a home run, it's like, hey, you did what you should.
Yeah.
You strike out, it's like you just struck out against a shortstop.
And I know the outcome's not going to matter, but this was 2 outs, nobody on in this inning, and he didn't cover first. And now look, we got chaos.
And the early returns on Oswaldo Cabrera, the pitcher, are not promising. That's ball 4. That's the easiest RBI of Andy Pajez's major league career, and probably will be no matter how long he plays. CeCe, what do you got left? You got an inning? You got an out in you? Oh, that guy, he belongs in the 9th inning. I bet Spike could even come in and give him an out. Brad Paisley, diehard Dodger fan in attendance. Now there's a pattern to these misses, John.
Yeah.
Correct him.
Yeah, well, you got to get that front shoulder and stay in there a little longer.
Just like that, right?
Yep.
The ball is taking longer to get to home plate than he is to throw it.
That's exactly right.
Ground ball to third. LeMahieu ends the Yankee misery right there. Dodgers get 3 more. 7 runs over the last 2 innings to blow it open. This highly anticipated regular season matchup early June. 11 postseason meetings, 11 World Series between 41 and 81, with the Yankees winning 8 of those 11. It's been all Dodgers this weekend, though, and a nail-biter in extra innings last night. It was a nail-biter through 7 tonight, but 4 runs in the 8th and 3 runs in the 9th. And Yarborough's out there looking for the last 3 outs on what would be a Dodgers series win. Top of the order for the Yanks, it's Anthony Volpe, who's extended his on-base streak to 34 games tonight. That's the longest on-base streak for a Yankee this young since Mickey Mantle had a 36-gamer when he was 21 in 1952. He was within 2 games of that. Grounder along third for Kike Hernandez. Circled around it and a running throw to get him. And now Verdugo. All right, John. So a lot of people, coming into the weekend saying this could be a World Series preview. I think the average baseball fan, just the neutral baseball fan, would love to see this be the World Series matchup. It will be Dodgers-Yankees if each team does what?
Well, I mean, you could say that the same for both. They stay healthy because they're both built to get there. But I think it'll be a World Series matchup if the Dodgers go get what they need, meaning they have the resources and they have the ability, because it's not about, in the Dodgers case, getting what they need to win a division. It's getting what they need to extend it to a World Series and beyond, right?
What is that for you?
I think they've got to get a couple hitters. I mean, I know everybody looks for pitching. I think they're fine in their pitching department. I think they have the makeup of 1, 2, 3. You only need 3 to run the gamut. In some cases, 2 studs can run the gamut, and we saw that no different than last year with the Texas Rangers. Yeah. So I think for the Dodgers, it's pretty simple. And obviously for the Dodgers, there's competition in the National League to get there for sure, but I think the balance is a little deeper in the American League, and I think for the Yankees, they got to get Garrett Cole healthy. And if they do, it's like adding a brand new pitcher, right? I mean, if he does just normal stuff, they're going to be fantastic.
They got the best record in the league. They're about to add the reigning Cy Young Award winner and arguably the best pitcher in baseball the last few years. Another 2-2 from Yarborough. Chopper, Betts, 2 gone in the 9th.
I tell you, there's an arm in the American League that I doubt this team would give up without a heavy price in Oakland. Back into their rotation, a guy throwing 102 would be a game changer for a team that is looking to bolster their bullpen, but I highly doubt that is a commodity they would give up as young as he is. But that's kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for the game changer.
There's a high drive off of the bat of Judge, right center field for his 2nd home run tonight. 23rd of the season to lead the big leagues.
Man, he's on a torrid pace. Big, strong, and connected right now.
You've got Teoscar Hernandez, who's knocked in 8 of the 10 Dodger runs in this series. Now Aaron Judge has knocked in 3 of the 4 for the Yankees. Speaking of pace, his pace is 57. And that's after a first month where he didn't hardly leave the yard.
You know, ironically, when we did the game last year between these two, he made an unbelievable defensive play and got hurt. This is not about dinner plans.
Nope, everything's closed.
About something else.
Breakfast plans tomorrow?
Maybe.
Where you guys want to meet for a coffee?
Golf? Maybe.
Could be that.
Sunday night game.
Yeah, it was June 3rd last year, Dodger Stadium. The Yankees were 10 games above 500 at that point. He was on a pace to match the 62 home runs of the year before when he suffered that toe injury that altered their season. Similar to this weekend, you're getting a glimpse of what you already knew. Yankees did not want to see life without Juan Soto. Last year, you knew they couldn't live without Aaron Judge, and then they had to see proof of that.
Yeah.
2 months without him changed their season, and wound up just 2 games above 500.
Whatever that was, it was a secret. The meeting between the umpires.
Be good if they got on the mic there, let us all know. Our conversation on the field was golf. Broken bat, flaring to center field. Betts will run it down and finish off a Dodger win. 11-3 over the Yankees, and they've clinched this series. That man there, Teoscar Hernandez, the star of this show. He drives in 6, 2 home runs, including a grand slam. Yeah, the Dodger lead in the division grows to 8.5. Padres well on their way to winning their own game against Arizona. They have a 13-1 lead in San Diego, so probably going to remain 8, but it remains very comfortable for Ohtani's Dodgers here in June.
Well, the Yankees, that's the only division where second place is relatively competitive. I guess the Central is competitive too with the Royals, but the Yankees are just biding time, hoping that Soto can get back in that lineup and they can return to mashing.
And Garrett Cole ready to make his second rehab start tomorrow. On his way back to supplement what has been the top rotation in the league even without him. 11 runs on 11 hits for the Dodgers. 3 runs on 10 hits for the Yankees. Yeah, with the star of the night, Teoscar Hernandez. We go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Teoscar, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, tied your career high, including your 8th inning grand slam. Your home run trot was pretty epic. I don't know that I've ever seen you show that much emotion. What was going through your mind?
I mean, you know, I have to enjoy that one, especially it was a close game, facing a really good team, and I just let everything out.
You were here, you played here as a member of the Blue Jays and the Mariners. What has been different about this weekend?
I mean, I play a lot here, like you said. Never with this intensity, with this adrenaline, with this kind of crowd. It's different. I don't know, but I like it. I like to be in this spot, these situations, and you know, try to enjoy the best that I can, and just try to be the better side of mine in every game.
Teo, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Joe, back to you.
Here tonight for Teoscar Hernandez continues to love being in the